Hello, this is Andrea in Michigan. Welcome to the doctor's call that we have every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. We're so happy you're here. On this call, we have doctors who share important health information and sometimes the solutions for them, which are all natural and non-toxic. We have multiple doctors who participate in our doctor's call, but our main host is Dr. Kurt Fisnick from Fargo, North Dakota. He's been a chiropractor for 30 plus years and has dedicated his life to promoting health and helping people. So welcome to the call today, Dr. Kurt.
Well, thanks for the great introduction, Andrea. I really appreciate that. You know, I tell people that all the things that I've done, you know, I used to run a busy practice, all of that, it means nothing if you're not helping people. I've really kind of dedicated, like Andrea said, my life to that. I feel it's my purpose to be here is to help people live happy and healthier lives and pain-free if at all possible. So you'll hear me say that. You'll see me represent that in everything that I do. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and I've been practicing chiropractic for over 30 years now. And I really got into natural anti-aging medicine. I started kind of dabbling in it 20 years ago, and it really happened because my son, who's now in medical school, he had asthma, he had eczema, and I had to come up with an answer for him, and it just led me into this totally new lifestyle. And if you're on the web and you're listening to the recording, you know, on YouTube right now, you're seeing the first screen here. It's a screen share, and it says toxicity. And Andrea, when I talk about toxicity, I mentioned the word toxicity. What's the first thing that pops in your mind?
Just the amount of chemicals we're surrounded by.
Yeah. So if I say, well, Andrea, what's the difference between a toxin and a poison? What's the difference between toxins and poisons?
Can you ask me that again? Somebody called me.
Oh, what's the difference between being toxic and poisonous?
Well, I don't think I would know the definition of that, but I'm sure you know it, so let's share it.
Okay. Well, I mean, really the main difference is that, you know, when they say poisonous, it's just that it acts faster. You know, and I don't know if that's the official definition, but to me, that's what I've really come up with is that if something's poisonous, it's going to make me sick like right now. It's going to make me sick right now. Where toxicity, most of the time, it doesn't kill you. At least you don't know that it killed you. I mean, I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning. I was talking to Mary, and she said to me, she said, I've been using this lipstick, this 24-hour lipstick. And I said, I bet if you went and looked, chances are it's got lead in it. That's how they make it last. That's how they make it stick for 24 hours. And there's toxins in so many things. But you look at toxicity, this is the Webster's definition, a quality or state of being toxic, right? The quality, state, or relative degree of being poisonous, measuring the toxicity level of the soil, for example, right? And so there's just a number of things, and so, you know, like people can be toxic to other people, and chemicals can be toxic. Even natural things can be toxic if you get too much. And so, you know, like a buddy of mine, Billy, always says, he says, you know, everything in moderation, right? Even moderation. What do you think of that?
Right, everything in moderation, but as we're exposed to toxins in the environment through our food, water, everywhere, medications, you know, we get what's called a toxic burden on our body, and it's a slow death.
Toxic burden. Yeah. So, you know, when you take a look at women put on an average of 15 different types of skincare products every day, where the average man only uses 6 different personal care products, right?
Uh-huh.
And so on the screen now, there's a screen on here. It says, here's how to find out if there's Teflon in your beauty products, right? Teflon. What do you think of when I say Teflon, Andrea?
Well, I think of the first Teflon pan that my mother got back in the 60s.
right? Teflon frying pans, and you're not the only one that thinks that. Most people think that, even most chemists, most scientists, when you say, oh, hey, you know, they're finding Teflon lining the arteries of people who have heart disease. What's the first thing that the EPA did? Oh, we got to ban Teflon frying pans. But if your digestive system is working properly, right, most of the Teflon that you would get from your frying pan probably never makes it into your system. It's blocked, right? Your digestive system blocks it.
Well, that's good
so
news.
where do you get the Teflon? Well, they found that if you spill chemicals, toxic chemicals on your skin, like gasoline, how long does it take to measure it before it's in the urine?
Oh, you told me this before. It takes like what, a half a minute?
A half a minute, right? And so wouldn't it be the same for other toxic chemicals? You bet. As long as they're small enough they can pass through the skin, they're gonna end up in your body within less than a half a minute. So when you start thinking about beauty products, you're thinking like hyaluronic acid, you're thinking retinol, you're thinking your B vitamins, vitamin C, different things like that. Who would ever think there'd be Teflon?
Not me.
Right? And Teflon is just one of the thousands of what they call PFASs, PFAS, which stands for polytetrafluoroethylene, polyfluoroalkyl substances, right? And they've related them to serious things like cancer and thyroid disease and reduced effectiveness of childhood vaccines. And I know, Andrea, you're kind of on a pedestal of talking about vaccines. So we won't get into that today. But you know, if you're a drug company, wouldn't you want to tell people, hey, look, if you're using a skincare product that has these PTFTs or PFAs in them, wouldn't you want to tell people that it reduces the effectiveness of the vaccination?
Well, you would think so, right?
You would think so, but you don't hear anything about it. In fact, when the EPA came out with all their studies about finding Teflon lining the arteries with heart disease, they didn't list anything about skincare products. They just said, get rid of your Teflon frying pans. If you see that you scratched the Teflon off the surface, throw the frying pan away, right? And
right.
They scientists with the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, they found that there's 13 different PFAS chemicals, which are Teflon chemicals, in 200 different products, ranging from makeup, shampoo, sunscreen, skincare products, all these different things. Brands, name brands, like CoverGirl, L'Oreal. I mean, chances are, Andrea, in some time in your life, you and your daughters have used a CoverGirl product, haven't you?
Well, I've used L'Oreal for a long time, so I've probably been exposed.
You've probably been exposed to it. And so if they do a dissection of your arteries, chances are they're going to find that there's some of that in there. So what do you think they're in your cosmetics for?
Well, I'm looking at your article here, but I would like to have you explain it to me.
So really what it does, it makes the eyeliner waterproof. It makes it so that it's oil proof, so that as you sweat, you don't see your makeup start to run down your face. Isn't that just irritating when all of a sudden, what do they call it? You get that smoke screen look on your face because the products on your eyes starts to run.
Smoky eye look.
Smoky, yes. That's what it is. I call it a smoke screen, you know. But anyhow, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a dumb guy. We don't use any of that stuff, right? But it's crazy when you start looking about it. And so, like, you know, you go to a fast food place, you order a burger. You know, in the past they used to wrap them in a styrofoam little container, and I thought, oh, look, that's got to be horrible for you. You know, it's going to absorb some of that. But now they take and they put Teflon on that paper wrapper. The paper has Teflon in it. You think maybe some of that gets absorbed into the food?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. When you get on an airplane, when you jump on an airplane and you're walking down the aisles and you're touching all the seats so you don't fall down as you walk back to the bathroom, or when you're walking back to your seat and you touch the seat, guess what's getting on your hands?
Right. And isn't it
Scotch guard,
amazing that years ago, no one believed that, by having things on your skin, it would get into your system. And now, I mean, now they're creating drugs that do that. Things are,
yeah,
put
right.
in on patches and put on your body and goes into your system faster than taking it orally.
Yeah, don't they have a patch for that?
Right?
Oh man, that's funny. But and so these chemicals, they're just bad. Not only that, you can't even just avoid them now by avoiding the products. They've been around long enough now. Guess where they are, Andrea?
Well, I hear a lot of them are mother's breast milk.
Yeah, in the mother's breast milk. Yeah, the EWG actually did a study. They found 230 different toxins in the umbilical cord blood of a newborn, and crazy stuff. But guess where else? They're in your water.
Oh yeah.
Right, because it washes into the water system, and so how do you know? I mean, there's different ways of knowing, but the PFAS. Would you ever think, oh, that's potentially harmful? Things like that. They have all these different names and all these different things. But you can go to the EWG website I did here, and you can find out what chemicals are toxic, what different names, things like that. Here's another website that as soon as my computer connects to it, the Skin Deep website, you can actually sign up for a newsletter, and you can find out different things like that. And here's another website that I'm putting up on the screen here now that talks about tips that you can follow to make sure that you have safer products, right? And they have their database, and so they say, like if you go shopping for for soap, right? Avoid things that have retinol palmitate, retinol acetate, retinoic acid. Avoid ethanol and these different things, oxybenzones and avobenzones and things like that. Triclosan. Triclosan, they put that in your toothpaste. You know what triclosan is, Andrea?
I don't.
It's what they put in antibacterial soap to make antibacterial soap antibacterial, but they put it in your toothpaste.
Yuck.
Right? Guess what they found about triclosan anyhow?
Tell me.
It actually doesn't kill bacteria anyhow. They put it in antibacterial soap to kill bacteria, and it doesn't kill bacteria. That's what the FDA just came out with 2 years ago.
Wow.
Right? So they got it passed by the FDA because they said that it's antibacterial, and then they found out that it's not antibacterial, but it is carcinogenic. And we're using it in our soap, we're washing our little kids' hands, all these little things. And children just aren't little adults. They're pound per pound. They get exposed to more toxins than we do, and their organs are immature, and they're less capable of fending off the chemicals that we're exposing them to. And so we have to start looking for different things. So, in baby wipes, back when my kids were little, 25, 30 years ago, they came out with baby wipes. Maybe they had them before that. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't have babies before that. But they have fragrances in them, and they have chemicals in them, things like that. A lot of the diaper creams in that, they have BHA and BPA and different fragrances. And then you look at baby powders, they have talc, which are just horrible, right? And then they have the different sunscreens that have all kinds of chemicals. Then you have, you can look at different things for the teenagers with avoid the parabens and the triclosans and the PEGs and all these different chemicals, right? And it's just all these things that we can do to help make ourselves so that we're healthier. And you almost got to be a chemist, don't you, Andrea?
Oh yeah. I mean, or utilize this great resource you're sharing with us. This is great information.
Yeah, I mean, why would they put Teflon in shampoo? What would be the reasoning for that?
So your eggs don't stick to your head?
Right? So your eggs don't stick to your head on a hot day. No, actually what it's there for is because they found that it makes your hair kind of have that silky, smooth, nice feeling to it. So it feels smooth, like a Teflon frying pan.
Oh.
Isn't that nice? Right? But it also
nice
gets
if it
rid of
was
the frizzies.
non-toxic.
Right? It gets rid of the frizzies, you know, where your hair is all frizzy and that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But man, I'll tell you what, it's just not good. And so you start looking at some of these things, all these chemicals and all the stuff that they're using, and you go back to the definition of toxicity, right? And toxicity in the human body, really what it does is it makes it so that it blocks the receptor site, so that your body's can't absorb nutrients. Because if the a receptor site is blocked by a toxin, it can't get in there. So arsenic, for example, arsenic is a toxin. It blocks what's called the zinc finger protein. And so when arsenic is sitting there where zinc's supposed to go, then the zinc can't go there. And what it does is the zinc finger proteins, that's actually what helps with the healing process. If you cut yourself or scrape yourself and you find that you have slower healing, maybe it's because you're toxic with arsenic. And so, you know, there's different things we can do. And Andrea, you know, have you ever tried to avoid everything toxic?
Well, I think it's pretty much impossible, but I try to eliminate as much toxins as I can from my life.
Yeah, but you can't avoid life. And if you're living, you're going to be exposed to toxins. And I tell people that you can't live in a plastic bubble because the bubble's made of plastic and you're going to be exposed to toxins there.
Right.
You know, and so we have to learn how to make our body as I call it Chuck Norris strong, right? Right. Do you remember those Chuck Norris jokes that your kids used to tell? Did your kid? I have boys, so maybe my boys told different jokes than your girls did.
I think they did.
Oh, okay. So they used to tell this joke. This is the one that sticks in my mind. They said, you know, when Chuck Norris jumps up and down, do you know that he actually doesn't move?
No.
The world actually moves under his feet.
Oh, okay.
But when you're talking about toxicity, wouldn't it be nice if you make your body Chuck Norris strong?
Yeah.
So the toxins, yeah, they you can't hurt me. They're going to bounce off of me.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do.
That's what you have to do. So the first thing that we talk to people about is that we really want to switch to, like Andrea is saying, we want to start using products that are toxin free. So here we have one on the screen now. You'll see we're talking about Transfusium, 24 active ingredients, highly active, and they're ingredients that nourish the skin, soothe the skin. Man, I'll tell you what, I was the first the first distributor to get to use this product, and I started taking photos of my skin, and I noticed a difference within 3 days. And Andrea, you know, I'm a guy. I'm outside a lot. I'm not worried about my skin. I just thought, you know, guys, we get old-looking skin. That's a guy thing. And after 3 days, I started noticing changes in my skin, and I went, holy cow, this stuff really works. But I was afraid to show anybody the changes, even though I had pictures, and because I thought there's no way, right? There's no way that in 3 days I can see a difference.
Right.
And so after 18 days, I sent Tom the before and after pictures, and I said, check this out. And all of a sudden, you know, they were having me signing modeling releases. Andrew, I actually signed a professional modeling release.
Wow.
I just kind of laugh about it because I just think, yeah, me, right? But it's a chemical free, it's a toxin free product that makes you look younger in as little as 3 days. I felt like I was looking younger. And I was just talking to somebody this morning that said that she's been using it now for less than a week, and she's noticed a change. You just started using it too, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I had used it before and then concentrated my money elsewhere for a while, and recently ordered the Mother's Day special, so I got the transfusium in that, and it's like palmated my youthfulness on my face, like pushed it so much more in advance. And just like probably, I would say 10 days I've been using it since I got the package. And I just, yesterday was looking at my face in the mirror going, oh my gosh, like, this is great.
Yeah. Well, I saw your picture when you were out visiting your daughter in California, and with the two of you side by side, either she looks older for her age, or you look a lot younger, and because you two look more like sisters than mother and daughter.
Well, thank you.
So that's really cool, and I tell people, wouldn't that be nice to have a product that does that? So let's look at a couple other products too that work from the inside. So we've talked about kind of the from the outside. So we talk about, here's something called fucoidan, right? And it's anti-cancer, it's immune building, it's anti-inflammatory, it helps with stem cells. It's been called the mother's milk because it has the same nutrients and healing abilities as breast milk, but it helps with regeneration, and it helps with toxicity as well. Isn't that a cool product to have?
I love that product. It was one of the first products I took, and it worked great for my inflammation. And I've gone out on the PubMed.gov website and found that it's great to support colon health and immunity, the immune system. It's like my, take everyday product.
It's a great product to use, and it really works. And there's thousands of studies on it on PubMed, on the National Institutes of Library website, where you can go look at that, a government website.
1,000+ studies. It's amazing.
And then we've got Body Shield, which is, it also has some lima mui, which is the plant that fucoidan comes from. And lima mui has fulvic acid, which helps with detoxing. It helps biologically in your body. It's loaded with fulvates and trace minerals. And it helps with detoxification. It helps with cellular cleansing, right? And you and I know about cellular cleansing. Isn't that important? I mean, you can clean out the gut and the liver, but does that mean you're cleaning out the cells?
No, it does not. And we have fabulous products to clean out the cells.
Exactly, right? And here's a question for you that a lot of people don't think about. I'm sitting here in my living room. I'm looking out the window, and I see this big tree growing here. You ever wonder, how does a tree actually absorb minerals out of the ground? Why can't we just eat dirt and get our minerals from the dirt? Why can't we chew on a rock?
I bet you have the explanation for that, Doc.
And that's because of fulvic acid, the fulvates, right? And what happens is the roots of the tree emit this fulvic acid, and the fulvic acid dissolves the rock and makes it so it's possible that now it can transport the nutrients like a train, a molecular train, moving the nutrients through the body, bringing them where they're supposed to go. And so they found that we as humans, we also need these fulvates. We need these organic fulvic acid so that we can pull this in and get the heavy metals out. So it pulls out those toxins and supplies the mineral that's supposed to go there. And that's what the Body Shield does. That's how it works.
That's awesome, because just a few months ago, I was reading an article that stated, like, when your cells are full of this sludge and these toxins, you have the gateway, I call it the gateway, where your nutrients come through into your cell and your waste gets eliminated, right? And the toxins block those openings up. And so, like they were saying, well, if you're short on magnesium, you could take a ton of magnesium, but if your cells are all gunked up from toxins, it can't even get into your cells and take care of supply the product to it.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty amazing.
There's a couple scientists in Minneapolis that actually, pharmacists, that owned the vitamin company, and they would just mix up a bunch of vitamins. They didn't care what it was. They'd put white food coloring in it, and they'd call it one thing. They'd put orange food coloring in it and call it something else. They eventually got in trouble because they got caught, thank God. But they said, yeah, they said all these people are buying vitamins. It doesn't do them any good anyhow, because exactly for the reason that you just said. If you can't absorb it, what good does it do?
Right.
You know, and one of the most popular vitamins on the market. I was talking to a scientist that actually helped develop the product, and he said you might as well drive down the road, open your sunroof, take the bottle, and one by one throw the product out the window and chew on the bottle. It's actually safer for you.
Wow.
Right? But scientists have said that organic fulvates are actually the miracle molecule because it helps your body so you can absorb all these minerals. Harvard Medical a number of years ago came out with a study and said that over 90% of us are missing key nutrients that we need, and maybe it's because we're not getting this right. And the fulvates, they'll do something like not just scavenge out all the bad stuff, but the other thing that it does is it provides the proper pH, right? The pH in your body. And don't you hear just a ton of people talking about, you know, alkaline this, alkaline that, and really it turns out it's not the alkaline, it's the alkalinity that it creates, right? Like if you drink lemon juice, for example, lemon juice has ascorbic acid. It's an acid. But when you take it in your body, guess what it does to your pH in your body, Andrea?
Makes it more alkaline.
Makes it more alkaline, right? So it's the alkalinity of the body. It's not the alkalinity of the product that you're taking that makes it so important. So that's why, you know, the Body Shield is such an important product that we can have for the body. And then finally, I want to talk about this one, and so this one, it's called Super Detox. And what Super Detox is that it's a product that will clean the body out. It's got a lot of different ingredients with it, right? It's got ingredients that will get rid of the toxins, but it helps with the large intestine, with the smooth muscle of the large intestine. You got senna leaf that a lot of people familiar with laxatives, right? And so you really don't want to be on that one for long term because it can cause problems. But the Super Detox is only designed to be used for about a week at a time. And how often would you recommend that people use this, Andrea?
Well, I'll go with every quarter of the year.
Yeah, maybe every quarter of the year. It's got aloe vera leaf extract, which reduces constipation, heals the lining of the intestine. You've got yellow dock root, which is a blood purifier. It's a general detoxifier, especially for the liver. Helps out with that. You got ginger root, which helps with detoxing, right? I try and drink a kombucha with ginger root in it because I just love the effect of it. Garlic powder, right? It's antiviral, it's antibacterial, it's antiparasitic. Maybe we should be washing our hands in garlic instead of antibacterial soaps. Right. Then you can smell like garlic all the time, right? It'll keep the vampires away too.
We'd all get a little hungry smelling that.
And then we got marshmallow root, which helps with all the smooth linings of the body, the lungs, and the urinary tract, and oregano that helps with the bile salts, helps your body so you process fats, and you got fenugreek, and you got another blood purifier with your burdock root. It helps with combining with inulin and helping out with the different things in the intestine. Helps reduce liver damage by getting rid of toxic chemicals. And you got buckthorn, which helps with healthy liver and gallbladder. And you got dandelion root, and you've got slippery elm bark powder, which helps, again, getting toxins out of the digestive system. And you got milk thistle, which inhibits the binding of toxins to the liver, and it helps with that. And you got red clover that they've been using that for a long time to help out with balancing hormones in the body, right? So isn't that stuff just all important? And then we go back and we start saying toxicity, right? I think I live in Toxic City.
Well, actually, I just looked it up in Alaska. produces the most toxins of any state in the country, which is very surprising.
Wow. But where is it that in Michigan, in the state that you live in, I mean, you can't even drink the water?
Flint, Michigan. Supposedly,
Flint, Michigan.
The water is full of lead, yeah. But,
right?
you know, I think that's pretty much across the board.
Yeah, it's just the one that they made a big deal about.
Right.
Yeah. So, Andrea, you know, I mean, I know it's getting to the end of the call here and that. Any important things that you can think of for people to share? I know that in June, we're going to have added benefit with our compensation plan. We're going to have loyalty points that have been accumulating for the last year, and we're going to be able to use these loyalty points to get products. So, you know, and this morning, before the call, you were made a suggestion. I thought, wow, what a great idea. Can you tell everybody out there in Sisel world what your idea was?
Well, we all have our favorite products that we like to use on a regular basis, but these points will be given to you from Sisel in a voucher, so you can utilize them to purchase product. And I said to Doc, well, you know, this is great because there's always those other products that I'd like to try out there. So I can utilize these voucher points to just go out and try a new product and, you know, get it free or almost free, and then try something new. Like, for instance, you were just talking about the Supra Detox. You know, it's recommended you take it only, you know, maybe 2 to 4 times a year. So go ahead and try that. Get your liver healthy and your colon healthy and get all those toxins out for the next short period of time and feel better so your other products can be more effective.
Your other products could be more effective. Exactly, you know. And maybe you're listening to this call and you're going, well, I don't use Sisel products. You know, and you should, right? But I'm not going to come over and beat you over the head with a 2x4. But, you know, if you're using other products, maybe you want to use some of our detox products to make your products work better. I mean, even that's a good suggestion, isn't it, Andrea?
Oh, I would think so, but it depends on what their products have in them.
Right? I mean, if you're using a Teflon-based product, get the heck off of that.
Yeah. You know, and as you were scrolling on that last little piece of information showing us all those ingredients and things, I just want to mention, you know, I can just envision people screenshooting that with their phone, trying to catch all that information, but really you don't have to. I'm sure that you were invited or you saw on somebody's social media the post for this call today, and that person who you know who is participating in Sisel products will have a website that you can go to and look up all that information that Doc shared today as far as the products go. So there's detailed information in our website. Our website is beautiful. It's very functional. So it'll be easy for you to find them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Get back to the person that got you to the call. Get back to the person that got you this recording and connect with them. Don't just go online and Google Sisel and sign up as a distributor there. You know, the whole thing is that we work hard. Andrea and I are here doing this call this morning, everybody that joined us on the call. And people are out there sharing this. And the only way that it benefits anybody is if we all join together and we join as a team. And so get a hold of the person that just shared it with you and join their team. Become part of their team and then share everything. And really, I can show you a way that if you share it with 4 people, I can show you how to get your products for free. And Andrea, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's a great thing.
Free is good. So everybody, thanks for your time this morning. Thanks for jumping on the call. I really appreciate it. Andrea, thanks for being here every Tuesday and being part of what we're doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack. We appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.